For a week, the streets of Peru have been on fire. Thousands of demonstrators gathered to protest against the impeachment of President Martin Vizcarra, who was accused of alleged bribery and removed from office. The next day, the Speaker of Congress, Manuel Merino, assumed power as interim president.
Juro por Dios, por la patria y por todos los peruanos que ejerceré fielmente el cargo de presidente de la República.
Under investigation himself, Merino's appointment further fueled the protests. Thousands took the streets demanding change. They are tired of politicians and corruption scandals. At night, protesters marched to Congress to demand the removal of Mr. Merino. The police tried to stop them, and the clashes began. The officers fired tear gas and rubber bullets. Dozens were injured, including several journalists. 2 young men were killed. Inti Sotelo, a 24-year-old student, was one of them. Paramedics tried to keep him alive in the middle of the battle between protesters and the police. Outside the hospital, family and friends were furious.
Este caos lo ha hecho el sector político que no me representa y no representa a ninguno de nosotros.
The next day, Merino resigned as president.
Que presento mi renuncia irrevocable del cargo de presidente de la República.
Soon after, there were celebrations on the streets again. But in Inti Sotelo's barrio, the mood was different. Hundreds came to support Inti's family. His father thanked the crowd.
Héroe, porque ha luchando por los 33 millones de los peruanos. Y nosotros de ninguna manera no vamos a permitir que siga sucediendo.
The last 6 presidents of Peru are either in jail or under investigation for corruption charges. Only in the last week, Peru had 2 presidents, and today it has none. But the deaths of these 2 students might mark the beginning of a new chapter. Peru woke up without a president today, and it's still not clear when there will be one. The last week has been historic. As a Peruvian, I have never seen so many people take to the streets. The majority of them were young students demanding a stop to political corruption, what they call the cancer of Peruvian politics. The signs they were carrying were a clear message to all politicians here. You messed with the wrong generation. The excessive force used by police in the protests has enraged people even more. When we were there covering the protests, we saw dozens of people injured with rubber bullets, including 3 colleagues working very close to us. Now, it's up to Congress to choose somebody to run the country until elections next year. All this in the middle of a pandemic and one of the worst economic crises the country has seen in the last century.